welcome back, everybody. This time we're doing another podcast. Who are my lovely people joining me to discuss this topic?
Michael.
And Travis, because why should we mix things up ever?
That's true. We should never mix things up. Same thing works all the time.
Exactly.
I want everything to be the same. Anyway, sorry. So this is going to be another topic that it was my mind created, and I thought this was an awesome game. Not awesome game, sorry. An awesome topic, and that's going to be finishing versus completing games, like 100%ing versus just doing what you need, like the bare minimum, to finish the games. And to start things off, we have certain things that we want to say, but the question that I'm going to pose to everybody is kind of a think about it is, which kind of gamer are you? Are you more for one finishing a game so you can do more games, or completing them all the way through?
You can go first, Travis.
Okay, well, I used to definitely just be the person who would just complete the game, I would understand the story, and I would move on with my life. And then I met Mike at college, and he's like, dude, you totally need to 100% some games because it feels awesome. And I'm like, okay, I'll try it. And then I became an achievement whore. And it's ruined my life because I can't finish any game because I'm like, okay, I need to 100% this shit now. And then I have
so
no time
Mike
ever.
ruined your life is what I'm hearing right
Pretty
now?
much.
He changed my life. Because now I just can't finish games. And that's why not a single playthrough is done yet.
Oh, that's why.
It's because I have to
That's
100%
why.
everything. And I have to, like, use
You don't
so much.
have to do
I
anything.
have to. He'll judge me. And
I do.
Mike
I do judge pretty
Mike is
hard.
senpai. And I need to make him happy.
It's true. That's how this relationship works. That's
It's
right.
completely one-sided like that? Damn, I never knew.
Well,
That's
yeah.
so funny. Yeah.
All right, well, go, Mike. Because I know since you're a completing person, tell me why you're more of a completing kind of person than just a finishing.
Well, the irony is lately I haven't been as much. It depends on the
Oh,
playthrough.
really?
I
Yeah,
changed
well, that's why
it.
Travis was saying we switched. Because, like, if I'm, like, okay, it depends on the game. Like, if it's a game I've played before, I usually try to complete it. If it's a game I've never played before, I don't. Because it's almost impossible to 100% games these days without using some sort of guide or walkthrough. Because there's too many, like, oh, this gem is underneath a rock in the corner of the biggest map in the game. And it's like, no one's going to find this stuff just looking for it. So,
That's
like,
fair.
and, like, you
You're
could
right.
say that with, like, Battle for Bikini Bottom, finding every sock, you know? It's like, it would be boring and
Oh.
stupid, you know?
Oh, yeah,
So, like-
I'm never going to do that.
Yeah, and it'd be easy with a guide, and that's usually what I will turn to for, like, stuff that gets absurdly difficult. But, like, I don't want to do that on a first playthrough, because that defeats the point. Because then, like, you know, I want my first playthrough to be my own experience, where, like,
And enjoyable, too.
yeah. Like, I want to be like, this is how I played the game, this is how I beat it with the weapons that I found, things like that. On a second playthrough, I'm more inclined to 100% a game if I thought it was fun enough to play a second time. But
Yeah.
usually I don't do that on my first playthrough.
No, I would agree with you on that, because especially when it comes to, so there's two things that I really wanted to make sure that I mentioned in this podcast. One of them was that, just like you said, some of the games that if you're talking about versus finishing and completing it, like, again, I don't think that there is a right way, but I definitely think there's a right way for certain games, whether you should finish it or complete it. And one of the reasons why I kind of thought of this topic is for some reason I was just watching a ton of The Completionist, and even though I might not agree with him on a lot of the things that he was thinking about certain games that I loved, he has to 100% them all the time, so he's getting a different perspective. Like the first one that I saw was when he did Fire Emblem 7, and 100%ing that game in a week is stupid, like really freaking stupid. And so that's, like, he's getting a different opinion about this. But I mean, in games like that, or games like, for example, one of the first games that I remember going out of my way to 100%ing was Minish Cap. Which, again, for anybody who plays Minish Cap, it's really freaking stupid. If you don't want to glitch it and you want to get, like, a heart piece legitly, you have to collect at least 100 figurines. Sorry, not 100, 130, I believe, figurines. And then there's some that you can do afterwards. But if you collect the figurines, it'll allow you to get this heart piece. But the figurines are based on luck, and based on collecting these magic shells that you get throughout the game. And even if you space them out, you're still going to be stuck on, like, a lucky thing where you bet more shells to get it. And you can only carry 999 shells, which will not get you that many figurines. I'll be honest, 100%ing Minish Cap as my first Zelda game 100% was the stupidest thing I've ever done. Like, actually the stupidest. So in games like Minish Cap and games like Fire Emblem like that, there's no ways to possibly 100% the game. So it's like you shouldn't 100% the game at that point. I don't know.
Breath of the Wild is quite literally almost impossible because there's one item you collect in that game. There's 800 of them, so
yeah. And you have to discover like all the shrines too.
Yeah, some guy did a speed run for that, and I think it was like 10-20 hours long, and it's like this is not even a speed run at this point.
Wow.
So
yeah,
it's like there are some games that like, or like Assassin's Creed has the thing where you have to collect 400 different flags like around the world, and it's like this just feels like pointless and tedious at a certain point.
And it's not fun at that point. I still think the game should be fun if you're completing it, and the genre that really does that right, but is kind of meant for that, is platformers. So, like, for example, like, again, like, if you wanted to do it for SpongeBob, it probably would still be fun for you to, like, go around the world and try to explore every single nook and cranny. And one of my proudest accomplishments, actually, like, growing up, was having Super Mario 64 DS on my, like, I would play it on, like, car rides and whatnot, and I got 150 stars in that game, and got all the mini games and everything without ever using a guide. And I felt really accomplished after that. I was stuck at 148 for a really long time. But it was fun for me to go back and do that. But some genres just don't allow that to happen. And sorry, Zelda games, sometimes it's not worth doing. At least in my personal opinion, I don't think so. So that's why I'm not sure if you still want to do that 100%ing dream for you, Mike. But I personally think it's ridiculous.
A great game for 100%ing is the Saints Row series, because that is just mini games. So like that game to 100%, there's some collectibles. I think there's about like 100 total, but they're all fun to collect because like you have to use superpowers and travel around the city. So those ones are a lot of fun, and the game like kind of tells you where they are, which is helpful. But I also like how most of it is just missions. So you just have to play like the certain style of missions, and there's like 10 of each of them. So like that one, to 100% the game, you have to do a bunch of different stuff, which is awesome. It's not the same collecting. And same with Bully. Because Bully also had a lot of items to collect, but it didn't make it tedious. It told you where they were, and there were ways you could like find out where they are better. So like that game did collectibles better. I just don't like games that say, here's 300 random items, go find them without any help. Like Link Between Link Between Worlds. That game, even though that had a big collectible mission, I didn't hate it because there was a way to find it. And at least like
I didn't hate it either. I just never bothered in doing it. I just was like, I wanted to finish the game more than anything because I love the dungeons in that game.
Yeah, but I at least like that. At least there was a way to find the items. It wasn't just like go randomly search behind a rock. It was there's a noise coming from behind the rock, so it gives you a better idea on where it is. So I like, if I'm gonna do a lot of collectibles, at least give me a hint. You know, that's all I ask.
Yeah, because
or what they did.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to finish this up. Or what they did right in Twilight Princess HD, because I also 100%ed Twilight Princess recently, which was not as bad. It did not take nearly as long as it did for Minish Cap. But what they did is they also included kind of like a checklist or like a radar mechanic, because in the original Twilight Princess, which is the one that I did it on, it didn't really tell you if you're like for like the postals, but they had a fortune teller that would tell you. It would just give you you could ask a fortune teller, I'm not sure if you have to pay them or something like that, and it just showed a picture of where a missing item was. It didn't like necessarily tell you where it is, but it narrowed it down for you. It's like, okay, so this is the one that you're missing. Go, like, if you remember where this place is, go in there and find it. Or the pose, what they did is they had like a certain lamp item to let them do that, and at the same time they had a checklist on like the different areas on how many ones you still have left to get. I like that because it takes something that seems like a collectible quest that can be really difficult to find, and it doesn't tell you exactly where they are, but it's like, we can narrow it down for you and still make it enjoyable, not make it tedious.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Trav. Sorry about that.
So I've only 100%ed two different games, Mario 64 and then a Batman game. I forget which Arkham Asylum thing it was, but it was one of them. And I definitely agree when they just give you a crap ton of random things to find, which in Batman is Riddler trophies.
Batman might be the worst, like,
it was
criminal
so
in that
like
way.
even though I was able
but
to
my boy Travis did it.
Huh? Yeah, I did do it, and I'm not 100%ing my other Batman game because screw Riddler, he's not worth it. But
God.
you're at least able to like find henchmen that like knew where like a certain amount of the trophies were. So like I didn't have to like look up a guide to find them all. It's just it was so tedious finding every single one of them.
Yeah.
It was, oh my god. So I definitely, I feel ya when you just feel like you're more just wasting your time trying to 100% the thing. Because, like, I had already beaten the game, So, like, literally all I was
Yeah.
doing was hunting around freaking Arkham, finding these stupid trophies in the most random places.
Yeah, which is why I still think it's good to 100% some games, because I think it's more fun that way. But again, I like if they like remake the game like Twilight Princess to Twilight Princess HD. If they include a mechanic like that, it doesn't make you search every single thing again. It still narrows it down so it won't be as tedious and whatnot. But I mean, platformers and I guess like Zelda games I think are better for 100%ing, because nowadays Travis will be with me on Xenoblade Chronicles X. There's so many missions in there, and
So many.
if anybody ever does 100% playthrough of Xenoblade Chronicles X, I don't understand if they can do it without spending at least 250 hours.
Well, I think that's the point for games like that. Like, those games, I don't even think people should try to, because that's like saying you want 100% Skyrim, which I don't even think is a good goal, because, like, the point of those games is to feel endless. And so, like, I wouldn't ever call those games, like, and not that you did say it, but, like, I don't think it'd be fair to call those games, like, tedious because they're too long, because I think the point is, like, you have, you know, unlimited stuff to do, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
So, so in my opinion, I guess, taking a little bit more of a step back, I still think that if we're talking about games in general, I still think that it's still fun to fully complete games, but at the same time, it's got to be the right game. I mean, it's got to be the right game, and there's got to be certain genre specific for it, because there are certain games like Super Mario 64 DS where I felt very good, and I felt like I was very proud of myself for actually doing that. I did not feel good about 100%ing Minish Cap. There's a reason why nobody runs 100% in that game.
Yeah.
They might do like a 99% run of it or something like that, but they never do it 100%, which is...
Yeah, when I finally got my 100% in the Batman, I'm like, yes, it's over. Not like,
Dude,
yes,
yeah,
I
like,
accomplished something. It's just like,
that,
it's done.
That amazes me that you 100%ed that game, because that game is such a douchebag to 100%.
Well, because you were literally talking to me about, like, all the games that you've 100%ed, so I'm like, I'll 100% my next game I play, which happened to be the Batman. Regrets were made. Regrets were made.
Yeah. I like the determination that you had there, Travis, but ouch.
Yeah. That's why I've only got the 2, because, like, Mario 64 is, like, one of the most nostalgic games for me, because that was pretty much the only game I played as a kid. It's like that and DK64. So I'm like, okay, that one was real easy to 100%, especially because all you have to do is know where the stars are, and I, for the most part, remembered where all of them were already.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, also, I guess another kind of game that does it well for usually 100%ing is like games like Diddy Kong Racing. I know Mike doesn't like the game, and I know Travis, I'm not sure, has an opinion.
I
but
technically have
personally love the game.
100%ed Mario Kart 8 as well, because I unlocked everything.
Yeah. So in games like that, though, what I love about it is unlocking all the characters. I mean, so there isn't that many characters to unlock in Diddy Kong Racing. There's 2 characters. There's Drumstick and TT. And TT, I'll be honest, was one of the hardest things, and it was really hard to do, because you have to beat like really hard times, and unless you use like speedrunner tactics, you're not going to be able to beat through the level that fast or something like that, which makes me think that there's some knowledge that the devs had on how to make the game, on like how to go through the races faster. But it still makes you feel accomplished at the end of it, and that's what I like about, because most of the time when you're 100%ing a game, like Mike said, you're doing it on a second playthrough. So you're not doing it on like initial playthrough. You get your initial opinions, and you're like, oh, I think that was fun. And if you think it was fun to 100% it, you do it again as a different way to play the game. And that's what I like about 100% the game, and actually doing that completionist version of it rather than just finishing it. But again, it doesn't work for everything. So racing games I think usually do it pretty well. Platformers, but I mean, it's just maybe some action adventure games, but not every game should be 100%ed.
Yeah, that's fair to say.
I remember talking to somebody.
Fallout.
I think
Oh, good lord.
That'll be my next game.
do it.
It'll be easy.
I talked to a person who said that they 100%ed everything in Dragon Quest VII for for PlayStation and 3DS, and each of their runs like took 130 hours. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I got my Dragon Quest experience, and I think that's good enough for me. I don't need to go to every single island.
Yeah.
No?
No, I'm sorry. I'm just not doing that. So sorry. You guys have anything to say or?
No, I think we pretty much summed it up. I think, it depends on the game and it depends on the person. I think with collectible missions, I'm more likely to not 100% the game. I think, if it's more like Mario 64 or Resident Evil or games where, like, to 100% the game, you have to, like, do certain mission types. I think I'm more likely to 100% it, but I don't know. I think it depends on the person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, depends on the person, depends on the game. I personally think it's fun to try for a game every so often. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess that does it. So let us know what you guys think, whether you guys are a completionist or just a finisher, I guess. And again, I really want to hear your guys' opinions. So, or if you have any podcast topics, leave them in the comment section below. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.